Hi guys, my name is Nikki and welcome to Nikki's Dancing Knits. So this will be a channel about all my knitting, crocheting, making, etc. And I named that because I'm also a dance teacher. So I live in Central California with my husband. I'm a physical therapist by day, dance teacher once a week, and knitter and crocheter in all the spare moments I have in between. So I wanted to give this podcast thing a try, so I put on too much makeup and I'm sitting in my dimmed living room in the middle of the afternoon on a Sunday, April 30th, to keep the sun out and the heat out, and it's already pretty hot here in Central California. So yeah, let's get it started. I took some notes so I know what I'm doing, but bear with me. We'll start with FOs, then go through whips and future things, and also acquisitions, and we can talk a little bit about life at the end. But anyway, since it's new, I don't want to go too far back, but really all I've been doing lately that I've finished is crochet. So started really practically with these citrus coasters, and we just needed some coasters in our living room. Our table, we want to protect our table too, so when we have people over we need a few extra. So I made those with Lion brand coboo in colorway beige, and like a lot of people, I don't really recommend this yarn. It's not really fun to work with. It's very splitty. Even for crochet, it's not the best experience. Even right here I have, like, you see that, a piece where it's just tied, so not the best quality either, but it got the job done and it was easily available at Walmart, so that's what I did. I only made about 4. I do plan to make a few more to use up some of that yarn and have some extra for here, and then maybe give some as gifts if I have a lot extra. But it has a pretty good amount left after only 4. But so that is my practical home crocheting. Also, this is a blanket I made for my husband for a wedding present. So it is a 6-day kid crochet blanket. I don't remember the name of the designer. Let me look it up really quick. 6-day crochet. It did not take me 6 days because I made it king size to fit on our bed. This is by Betty McKnit. So yeah, but I wanted to match our wedding colors. I think it's Impeccable Yarns from Michaels, and this is like their bridesmaid colors, and the groomsmen wore navy, and this didn't really end up being an accent color, but you know, it looks nice. So but we got married last May, so coming up on a year. But yeah, I really like this blanket, and it's too hot to use it right now, but it's a good backdrop. So there's that. Let me look at my notes again. Oh yes, my next finished object I don't have because I already gifted it, but I do have a photo to show you. So this is the Angel Wings Pinafore by Maxine Gonser, and it's a pattern I found online like a really long time ago that was just free on the internet. I think you can access it through Ravelry, but I made this for my friend from grad school, and she's expecting a baby soon, so she loves the color pink, so I made that for her. I just use Premier Just Yarn worsted from the Dollar Tree. I use like a ball and a half, so really worth it. I think it's good. It's nice and soft for a baby. I wasn't particular about the size because it's a pinafore. You can kind of just put it on over a onesie, so it just ties in the back. So it's not super specific on size, I'm not really good at guessing babies either, but I guess like 6 months. It said on the pattern around 6 months, 9 months. So, but hopefully she enjoys that. She did post about it afterwards, so I know that she did like it, which I really appreciated. You always like your knits to be appreciated, right? So yeah, that's that one. Moving right along, the other thing is also crochet is Filet crochet, and this is a initial design I made for our friends who got married last weekend. My husband and I were both in the wedding party, so which was a lot of fun. We had a good friend group all together in the wedding party, and it was a really special time with really special friends. They just came back yesterday, and we got to see them today at church, so it was nice to see them again. But anyway, I initially my parents had their last name in Filet crochet in our house growing up, and they still have it, but it's in a nice frame, and it was like their last name. They got it as a wedding present, and I had always admired it. So when I was getting married, I was like, well, I could do that for myself, and I didn't end up making it before we got married. I focused on this project. It took a few months, but I did make it for my husband for our first Christmas together as a married couple. So just as a Filet crochet of our last name. And I actually practiced before that for my cousin's wedding. I made her last name. She and her husband, he's from a different country, and so his last name is way different than hers, and so they created their own last name, taking the meaning of her last name and putting it, the word in his language. And I don't know, I'm not gonna say it but it's a unique last name to them, which is really special. But I was like, they won't have that anywhere, so I practiced by making them their last name all written out in Filet crochet. But I didn't really have that kind of time leading up to our friend's wedding. I wasn't sure if they would like their whole last name either, not that they wouldn't, but I just went with an initial design, and we had a frame that worked for it. So I'll show you that. The last name starts with an M. So yeah, it's kind of like an old-fashioned thing to do, but I really enjoyed it. I really think it looks nice. You can go on my Ravelry if you want to see the one I made for myself, but I'm not gonna post it here quite yet for all the world to see. I guess Ravelry's public too, but anyway, YouTube just feels a little bit more out there to me. But I got ours nicely framed, and we had this in a frame too. So yeah, I've been really enjoying making it as gifts. I just use size 10 crochet thread. It's nothing special, just what the pattern calls for. I don't gauge swatch. It kind of, the first one I made was way too big, much bigger than the intended pattern, but I also used a different size Filet crochet hook than recommended. And then after that, my grandma gifted me my great-grandmother's leftover crochet hooks from when she passed away, and so I had actual small tiny ones for like lace work and stuff like that. So I did have the correct size when I made mine and this one, so it's, I think, closer to the intended gauge on those. But yeah, my great-grandmother actually taught me to crochet, so it's kind of special to have her hooks. So moving on, those are all my FOs I wanted to share with you guys today, but we'll go straight ahead into whips because I have quite a few of those. My first one is the Cargill Sweater. The pattern is by Rebecca of the Creabea. I really love this pattern. I got it on sale for her grandma's birthday. I am like 3 rows away from sleeve separation. It's kind of ridiculous, but once it got hot and I had, as you'll see later, I had some tank top whips, I kind of lost motivation on this one. I do still want to work on it, and I'll probably work on it still even in the summer, but I just got excited for summer knits. So that's where we are on this one. It's a beautiful pattern. I really love the dip stitches and the ribbon between. I think it looks really nice. The yarn is from Bien Aimee in Corrie worsted, the color lichen. I picked it up at my grandma's local yarn store when I was visiting her after my cousin's wedding last fall. So everything's kind of connected. This, you will see this, I mean, there, this is my new favorite color for the past couple of years. My car is this color. I don't know, it's like that knitting for olive, dusty artichoke. So like lichen, sage, eucalyptus, dusty artichoke. My car is called sea glass. So anything in this greeny, blue, gray colors, those are my colors. My second color is this pink, or Chianti, or I don't know, mauve, however you want to call it. But those are the 2 colors I'm really gravitating towards lately. So that's my sweater whip, which will be a sweater whip for a long time. But moving on to more recent stuff, I cast this on yesterday, and this is Camisole number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. Oh my god. It's no joke how you get stuck in things when you're trying to show everything on the podcast. Oh, here we go. So, I already made, excuse my needles, I already made 1 front panel, and then this is the second one I started. It's the back, that's the front. Let's see, like I told you, that's my second color right there. But this is really special because the yarn is Anzula, which is a local to me dyer, and they also have a local yarn store that they opened full-time this year. So yesterday was local yarn store day, and I got to go in. I was the first customer of the day, and you'll see later my other acquisition from there, but I got this yarn. So it's Anzula Luxury Fibers in the Vera Sport, and the colorway is Teddy. I'll show it to you in the skein, or not the skein, the cake. This is their linen and silk blend. Where's this? 65% silk and 35% linen. So it's not super like rough on your hands or anything when you're working with it. I haven't worked with linen before, but it's a little bit sticky on wooden needles, but I think that's kind of normal for any kind of more plant-based or summer fibers. So I'm not mad about it, but I think it's looking really nice. This nice stitch definition. Did a provisional cast on with crochet, and I'm liking the variegation in the color. So I'm looking forward to working more on that. And I do love the pattern. I haven't done Jessie Maed designs before either. I got more into knitting, I'd say like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I mean, I started with Tony Lipsy, her Yarn Snob reviews, and you know, then I was like, oh, there's a whole world on here on YouTube of crochet and knitting podcasts, and then I just fell right in. I can make socks, I can make a sweater. So up until that point, I was mainly doing crochet. Actually, every semester of grad school, I made a blanket because I was on Zoom for the majority of grad school. So it was kind of nice that I could sit in my house and have my hands down here and no one really saw. And that's how a lot of this blanket got done. But yeah, so crocheting was my first love. My great grandma taught me how to do that, and then I was 8 or 9-ish. After that, I taught myself how to knit with a book, and actually I had returned the books to the library, but I didn't know how to bind off my first project ever when I was 8 or 9 years old. And so that was like probably like 2006 when I remembered, oh yeah, there's this new website where I can look up a video how to do it, because it was YouTube. YouTube came out like 2005, I think, so it was pretty recent after that, but there was already knitting and crochet tutorials up there, and I was using them from the beginning. But mainly I was working on straight needles up until I started watching YouTube podcasts, so here I am joining that community. So yeah, I started with sock knitting, and then I got some circular needles, and here we are. A few sweaters later. But yeah, that was a whole digression from everything here, but all that to say, I haven't knit too many big designers yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I already have some petite knit patterns purchased, Jessie Maed, all this stuff. So actually the next thing I will show you is a Jessie Maed pattern. This is the Summer Secret crop, which is free from COVID. Oh my goodness. I kind of lost steam on this project because it wasn't turning out how I liked it, so it is a tangled mess. But here we have Summer Secret crop by Jessie Maed Designs. And I mean, the body was so fast. I did the option where you have waist shaping, so it increases from the cast on. I forgot to use the smaller size needle for the ribbing, so it's just the same. And I've started on the first double knit strap. You can see a couple places I messed up, but such is life. I'm not super thrilled. It just said to cast off for the neck, but I'm not really sure. It's not stretchy. I just did a plain cast off because I could not be bothered. I was just trying to mindlessly knit, so I'm not really liking that edge. I'll have to figure out if I should go back and redo it, because already of the mistakes in here, I could just rip back all the way to where I started binding off. I'm not sure. But also like the back ribbing at the top is just kind of like there's not very much structure to it, which I know is the point, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, my color, I love this color. This is from a hand dyer I found on Etsy. I was just looking for this color last year or the year before. It's from Stardust Yarn Crafts on Etsy in soft sage on 100% superwash merino fingering weight wool. And yeah, it was very cheap. She's still on there, so I'd recommend checking her out if you're interested in like $20 a skein of fingering weight yarn. I enjoy it. So it's very soft, all that. I can show you a picture of me trying on this pattern, and I was wearing a bra, sports bra with like similar or thick straps similar to the size I'm making the crop top, so I think I will keep going. It looks good, but it just wasn't wasn't working for me at the moment, so I put it in timeout. But yeah, I don't have any qualms with the pattern, and again, it's free. The only thing I did, I have 14 stitches on my needle, so it's 7 wide because of the double knitting, versus I think they want you to have just 6 stitches, so 3 on each side. I just wanted thicker straps so I could wear it with normal bras, so that's my only modification on that one. Moving on, last whip I have is just a vanilla sock. I am all tangled over here. It's just a vanilla sock adapted from a Crazy Sock Lady pattern with 2x2 ribbing at the top, heel flap and gusset. And this is yarn from who did this? Cashmere and Coconuts on Etsy. I really like their yarn. This is colorway Cape Town on their diamond sock, which is a 75/20 with 5% stellina in there, so that's the sparkly part. Or actually, they don't call it stellina, they call it nylon lurex. I assume that's stellina. I'm just knitting it on US 1 circular needles from Coboo. I didn't say my sizes on anything else, but I was just using the size needles that were recommended in the pattern. I did gauge swatch for everything except for my camisoles. So on this I'm actually doing something different. I usually do 64 stitches, but with time they kind of stretch out on me, so I'm just experimenting with the 60 stitch circumference. So it's going a lot faster. Those 4 stitches do make a difference. So yeah, we'll see how this fits. It fits when I try it on, and I think it'll just not stretch out too much when I wear it. So I'm pleased with that. And last section, that was all my whips. My last section is just acquisitions. So a few weeks ago I went to Pismo Beach for my family's spring break. I guess my siblings' spring break, and me and my husband tagged along for the weekend. It was a nice time. I got to go to a local yarn store called Let's Knit, and I just bought some Malabrigo yarn from the washed kind in colorway 866 Arco Irish. This is a worsted weight yarn. I think it's beautiful. It's a superwash. I don't know if I said that. And I'm just planning probably to make a hat. I have 2 of these. I'm not sure if it's enough to, it's technically not the correct size yarn. But I've seen, I've been really inspired on Instagram by the lasagna hat. I don't remember who is the designer, but I really, oh my goodness, look, it's just my 2 colors again. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, I have a theme. This is, I mean, blue is just my color, so makes sense. I just picked a shade that goes really well with a purpley. But anyway, I have 2 of these. I think that they would make a nice hat. Again, probably we'll wait to the fall, or I guess you can make a hat in the summer, right? But it's just kind of a bummer you can't wear it. So I'm happy with those and inspired. And my other acquisition is I also got yesterday from Anzula Luxury Fibers. This is their exclusive colorway for local yarn store day 2023. This is on their Cricut DK base, which is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon, and their colorway Black Hole Star. And Anzula, they they sell yarn all over. I don't know if it'll focus. Online, and they sell it to other retailers. So I'd recommend going and check them out. So it's just like a really pretty purpley gray base with then all these speckles of different colors like you see on those pictures of space, black hole stars. I love the planetarium. My undergrad had a planetarium on campus that was free to go to. So me and my friends would go a few times a semester, and I actually did a dance project in the planetarium where it was site-specific work, and I got to program the lights and like what they projected up there, and pick the ambient space music to go with my dance piece. So yeah, I mean, space really inspires me. So I was thrilled that this was the colorway for the local yarn store day. What was also cool was no one else was there. I got there right away. And Becca is one of the employees there. She's been working there for years and years. And she gave me a tour of their dye studio. So I got to see like all their setup, I didn't get to see their drying room, but right now they don't need it because it's so hot here already. But where they stock all your yarn and get ready to ship things out. It was a really cool experience. We're so lucky to have that here. I mean, I moved to the area about 4 years ago, and I was surprised that there wasn't really any local yarn stores for the size of the area I live in. But so finally we do have a dyer with a place to buy their yarn, so I'm really happy to support local, and I hope I get to meet the owner, Kelly, someday. But that's, I believe, all I have to share with you guys. As far as life, we've just been going. We've been in a wedding. Last weekend was the wedding. A few weekends before that, we got to visit my brother for his birthday in LA. His birthday is actually today, but we went to spend a Saturday with him a couple weekends ago. On the way back, we got to visit the super bloom of the California poppies down in Antelope State Park. And that was a really beautiful, crazy beautiful experience. I never would think that I liked the color orange so much, but it was breathtaking to be there. And so me and my husband got a few photos there after our weekend at the Getty, and we also saw a couple double feature of Singing in the Rain and another black and white old film in a old film theater called the New Bev. So yeah, it was a great weekend with my brother and his girlfriend. Coming up, we're going to see my sister next weekend for her birthday. Her birthday's in May, and sorry I bumped you. Her birthday's in May, so we're going to take her to an amusement park for her 18th birthday, and then she loves aesthetic coffee shops, so we'll probably go to one of those too. This year we're trying to make it a goal to have like experiences with our siblings for their birthdays versus gifts. So that's been really fun. My brother's was the first one, but already I can tell that it's just a lot of more memories that we get to have rather than just sending something in the mail. So we're happy to get to do that. And then later in May, we're having well, first of all, my dance studio, we're putting on The Wizard of Oz. So my husband's actually in that with us. He's not a dance teacher or anything, but he does participate when I ask him to, which is awesome. He loves it. And so there's a coach's piece choreographed by someone that we brought in from somewhere else. So I play the Wicked Witch of the West. I was going to say Elphaba, I don't know. It's just a small part and a small piece, but it's a lot of fun to get to dance on the stage as a teacher, because I did have a time when I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep dancing with going to a career of physical therapy. So I'm very thrilled to keep doing that. And then at the very end of the month, we have our anniversary weekend, which is Memorial Day, and we'll be celebrating by going to 2 other weddings. So we have one in town and one down in LA. So that will be a fun weekend, and we're looking forward to it. We're not sure what we'll do on actual Memorial Day, but I'm sure there's lots of ideas that we're asking for from my brother and friends of what to do. So if you have any suggestions for us, you can let me know in the comments. I'm a little bit nervous to put this up. I'm not the best speaker. I mumble sometimes. If I don't have exact words or choreography or what have you, it's a little bit intimidating. So I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, if you want me to keep going, let me know. We'll see. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it talking with you guys. And I know that there's so many different podcasts you could be watching right now, but I'm grateful to have even 30 minutes of your time today. But thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Bye.